with the murder. Thank you for joining us for Fox 4 News at 10. I'm Malcolm Johnson. For In Your Corner, Sam Sosa spoke with the woman's neighbors this afternoon, who say they heard several shots in the middle of the night.
People out here is cruel. This world, we live in a very cruel place.
The friends of 63-year-old Gloria Sparrow can't believe she's gone. This trail of bullet holes at her home are still visible. The innocent victim in this shooting is one neighbors remember as selfless and kind.
She was there for me on my toughest times, and I love her for what she done for me and my family. I love her for that.
Fort Myers police arresting 21-year-old Chedrick Dubree Brown for the crime. He's charged with second-degree murder. Sparrow's loved ones are now mourning the loss.
She's kind. Like, if the church was here, she'd be with everybody out here. She'd make you laugh. She'd be there when you need help.
A local church who regularly serves in the neighborhood also on the scene, praying over Gloria's home. Fort Myers police arrived to Sparrow's home on Dora Street just after 1 a.m., where they found her shot. She later died inside the home.
It does make me scared and concerned, but at the same time, this world is cruel. God knows what goes on here.
Chief Dennis Eads from the Fort Myers Police Department put out this statement regarding the arrest. The swift arrest of Chedrick Brown for this heinous crime can only offer some small sense of closure to Gloria Sparrow's family. Sam Sosa, Fox 4, In Your Corner.
Thank you for that, Sam. Now, Brown faces several charges, including second-degree murder, shooting into a dwelling, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, discharging a firearm in public, and criminal mischief. A Polk County school bus driver has been arrested for sexually assaulting special needs students on his bus. 72-year-old Carlos Ojeda has been charged with 8 counts of capital sexual battery. According to the affidavit, a student witnessed Ojeda put his hands down 2 students' pants on different occasions. And this surveillance video right here from his bus shows Ojeda standing in the stairwell while it is parked at a school. He is seen motioning to the victim, showing her a piece of candy. He then pulls the girl towards him and sexually batters her. Ojeda has been suspended without pay. Collier County deputies releasing this composite sketch of the man. Take a good look at him. Witnesses say approached a 13-year-old girl as she walked along Cypress Way East in Naples Wednesday night. The man was driving a white box truck with commercial letters and an unknown phone number. Detectives are on the hunt for the gunman behind a violent home invasion in Lehigh Acres. It happened on March 16th at a home on 12th Street Southwest. But they just released this composite sketch of the suspect. He's being described as about 6 feet tall and was last seen wearing dark baggy pants and a dark head wrap. Detectives say he rushed into the home, held the victim at gunpoint, then demanded both drugs and money before running off with cash. More money is now on the table for any information that'll help detectives solve the suspicious disappearance of a Fort Myers woman. 50-year-old Alberta Harris was last seen a week ago today. Her car was found along Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard on Monday. There was blood and a broken window. Harris's family pleading for any information that'll lead to her safe return. Now, authorities are now offering $2,000. If you have any information on this or any other crimes, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers. You can reach them at 1-800-780-TIPS.
But the biggest thing is no electric, no water there. So there's something there that didn't add up, you know.
A fire that completely gutted a Fort Myers home is raising questions for neighbors. No one was home at the time of the fire, but one neighbor said that's because the home was vacant. 4 In Your Corner's Deborah Souverain tells us why this neighbor is concerned that the fire may not have been an accident.
Malcolm, just one look around and you get a better idea of just how fierce those flames were. This panel behind me used to be a wall, and a neighbor here tells me that he thinks the fire that sparked here last night was suspicious because he says no one has lived here for several months and the electricity has been cut off for just as long. Dale Nugent's yard is still roped off from his neighbors after a raging fire there last night.
I was eating supper here and looked out and I thought there was sun shining, and here the fire was shooting up in the air. I come out and smelled smoke.
A Fox 4 viewer snapped this video of the flames as they shot through the roof of the home along South Road in Fort Myers.
Flames shooting in the air about 40, 50, 60 feet.
Dell surveyed the damage Saturday, unsure of how the fire could have started, considering his neighbor moved out 3 months ago.
There was no electric here, nothing like no electric. There was just no water, no electric, no nothing. So there's something there that didn't add up, you know.
The supposed vacant home doesn't look so empty. This room is filled with personal belongings. Empty bottles litter the lawn, and even the trash was taken out. Dell says he has an idea of who's leaving behind the mess.
But there was bums going in and out at different times.
So people have been squatting in that home.
Sleeping there, yeah.
He even showed me where he's seen one of the squatters camp out.
He was sleeping in here, and he got his mattress in and everything. He got his bed he lays in. There's his pants and everything in there, too. He'll sleep here tonight, probably.
Dale says he called his neighbor to tell him about the fire and his theory on what or who caused this disaster. Now, the cause of this fire is still under investigation, and no one was hurt here. That neighbor you heard from says he hopes this incident solves the squatting problem. Reporting in Fort Myers, Deborah Souverain, Fox 4, in your corner.
We do have a little bit of active weather out there tonight, but it's actually to the west and south of us. If we take a look here at the satellite and radar, you can see out in the Gulf we do have a bit of a disturbance there, but it is going to pass towards our south as well. A disturbance right off of the coast also passing south because we do have a bit of a weak cold front that is slowly sinking overnight tonight towards our south. That means we have clearing skies through tomorrow. It is going to be breezy here. You can see the clouds coming onshore onto the east coast and maybe a slight chance of a shower, but really not expected to make it to our neck of the woods through tomorrow morning. Temperatures out there right now fairly comfortable, sitting at 73 degrees right now in Cape Coral, 72 in Fort Myers. Temperature's going to fall off just a little bit through the morning hours, but the winds out there still breezy, anywhere from about to 10 to 20 miles per hour, maybe some higher gusts out of the northeast, but dew points still a little bit sticky. Things are going to dry up in terms of the forecast for tomorrow morning. To get your day started, looking at a comfortable 65 degrees, partly cloudy skies, slightly humid, still looking at a breezy east wind. I'll have more weather for you in just a bit. Malcolm.
All right, thank you, Trevor. A North Florida man convicted of murdering his pregnant ex-girlfriend has been sentenced to 50 years in prison. 34-year-old Alvin Thomas was sentenced this week to 50 years for armed burglary and 15 more for being a felon in possession of a firearm. Prosecutors say Thomas killed 22-year-old Caitlin Albritton back in late 2013 after she had broken off their relationship. A Jacksonville man is facing fraud charges after authorities say he buried his mother in her yard to collect her pension funds and Social Security benefits. 56-year-old Brian Adams collected more than $35,000. He is charged with bank fraud, theft of government property, and aggravated identity theft. The coalition of Immokalee workers launching a national boycott against Wendy's with the news that the burger chain has moved its tomato purchases out of Florida and to a supplier over in Mexico. Dozens of farm workers, students, and consumers will gather at Wendy's on 6 Mile Cypress Parkway in Fort Myers. They're going to be doing it tomorrow at 1 o'clock. This is the second boycott the group has done this month alone. Now, it's all part of the Month of Outrage protests against the company's refusal to join the Fair Food program. 3 Naples spokesmen against domestic violence leaving Naples this morning for a 12-day, 1,200-mile bike ride all the way from Naples up to the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. Now, this is all in an effort to raise money for awareness for Gentlemen Against Domestic Violence. It's a good cause. They were joined by members of local bicycle clubs and political representatives, and they were also escorted to the Lee County line by area law enforcement. Bernie and Jane Sanders have now released their 2014 tax returns. The document showing they earned nearly $206,000 and paid about $28,000 in federal taxes. During the CNN Democratic debate earlier this week, Sanders knocked Hillary Clinton for not releasing transcripts from her Goldman Sachs speeches. She fired right back by saying, when would he release his taxes? Sanders said the tax returns would be very boring with no big money from speeches or major investments, something he claims she does pretty often, and also saying he remained one of the poor members of the United States Senate. Speaking of taxes, the time is almost up. The deadline to file a tax return or request an extension